This episode is brought to you by The Guarantors. Facing rising renter fraud? Don't let fraudulent applications compromise your financial stability. The Guarantors provide a safety net that protects your rent roll and minimizes bad debt. Why risk it? Talk to The Guarantors and secure your property's financial health. Visit theguarantors.com/multifamily today. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. And today I wanted to give a shout out to Jason Tay. We have entered into a wonderful partnership under the premise of promoting his book tour. Let's call it a concert book tour. Jason is going to be traveling across the country, facilitating a training germane to the book that he wrote recently. And we are excited about that partnership, and there will be more to come. So watch out for that. So today let's talk about training. Many years ago, let's say it was 5 years ago, plus minus, I met a gentleman from Silicon Valley. Well, actually, I don't know if he's in Silicon Valley. I think he was actually in LA. His name was Elliot Burris. He had a company called Dynasty, and they were working on a technology called Lisa. And that technology was really the first automated leasing consultant in the multifamily space, or at least it's the first as I believe it to be. There might have been others working on the same technology. There might have been other competitors in the marketplace, but I think he was far and away the best option at the time. That's one guy's opinion. Anyway, the company went on to sell the Lisa technology to Appfolio, but that's not the point of today's episode. Today's episode is really centered around training. One of the things that I thought was really compelling about Lisa, and that was really kind of a differentiator in terms of the technology and the way that it was embedded into workflows in a property management firm. The neat thing was that the training was actually baked in to the technology itself. So to onboard Lisa, the technology would send you the onboarding questions. So whether that be links out to forms or whatever, she would send that information to you. And as soon as you put that information into the form, or you put that information back to her in the way of answers to questions she might ask you, she would onboard and create the links or the integrations between the technologies that you had to use, be it your property management system or whatever. She would link together or she would produce those integrations. Nothing that you had to do. Human didn't have to touch anything except the keyboard to type in answers to the questions that Lisa gave you. So she guided you in that portion. The other thing, when you started to roll the technology out throughout your organization, the onboarding at each property or individual asset was also done by Lisa. And then the ongoing training as it related to using Lisa in the most effective way was done by Lisa. So if a leasing consultant had a question about how to use Lisa as a co-pilot back then, this is before LLMs came into the mainstream, or OpenAI or any of that kind of stuff came into the mainstream, she would actually answer those questions for you. So if you're having trouble making a calendar or getting Lisa to connect to your calendar, or opening up the times that you were available to do tours, you just asked her to help you do it. It didn't necessitate getting in a room with a bunch of people for a live training. It didn't necessitate hopping on a Zoom to get a virtual training. It didn't necessitate going to an SOP to understand how that worked. It didn't necessitate calling somebody on the phone, or any other way that you might access traditional education and or teaching or training or coaching or mentoring for that matter. It simply was embedded into the technology, it was embedded into the workflow. So I say all that to say this: we struggle with the idea that technology is making a landfall. It's like a tsunami that has already made landfall, and it's already gone in, and now it's like just pulling everything out, and it's remaking the landscape. And I think what is really important these days is that no one knows what they're doing as it relates to the people, the process, or the systems in your organization. It's all changing all the time, very rapidly. And so my suggestion to technology providers: bake the learning into the workflows, bake it into the AI in your workflows, so that if somebody has trouble onboarding, there shouldn't be any trouble onboarding. That should all be automated at this point. And or any ongoing support and or teaching, training, mentoring, coaching is all facilitated with the technology. And it would absolutely help organizations, property management companies across the country who struggle to support education, right, because of time, money, or resource. they don't have that system baked into their company, meaning they don't have the human capital to facilitate training. The technology is the training. The work is the training. The training is the work. That is a real thing that can happen today. We've been talking about that for years on this episode, or not on this episode, on this podcast. And I think we're here now. We have the technology now. I know I've seen some incredible technology where that is going to come to be mainstream over the next, who knows, 18 to 24 months, plus minus, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I think there are some incredible people working on some incredible things that are going to make training not a a thing of the past. There's still value in training and in-person training and spending time together as human beings. But a lot of the cumbersome type stuff, the repetitive type stuff is just going to be built right into any technology platform that you will use on a go forward. So it'll make training less of a headache, less heartburn in the future. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.